Well, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm here in the Moksha country, I guess you can say. So, wanted to discuss with you about Moksha. And what better place to talk about Moksha than the land of Moksha, which is Sedona, Arizona. Now, there are many themes about Moksha, and I'm not the expert in it at all. That's something you need to know right away. My analysis and view on Moksha is only astrological. It is not transcendental. Having a transcendental understanding of something is beyond even astrology. So mine is quite limited. So as you know, moksha, meaning enlightenment, is about when you escape the cycle of birth and death and rebirth. And most of the time, you need a guru to help you to escape this cycle. Guru has to guide you. Guru has to instill certain principles within you, giving you mantras, giving you certain type of meditation to do, so you can destroy and kill your prarabdha karma and sanchita karma. These are two types of karma that are really the reason why you're born, is to pay back those debts. So especially things like Kriya Yoga help you to dissolve these karmas through breaths. That's one of the ways you're able to find moksha and enlightenment, so you don't have to come back, even though it's a beautiful place, but you don't have to deal with all the other stuff that this place has to offer, which is sorrow, which is sadness, depression, death, jealousy, envy. And you're doing, you're just in tune with Krishna, that black energy that Santos talked about. But how do you understand moksha astrologically in your life? How do you understand that, okay, this is how I need to be going about trying to attain moksha? This is where the very simple concept comes into play, which is a concept of knowing the certain type of houses in astrology. And for this, you may definitely will need to know what your ascendant is, as in your rising sign. And if you do not know what your rising sign is, like if you're an Aries ascendant, Pisces ascendant, Leo ascendant, for that check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, Aspects, and Mahadashas at the Speed of Light, including all the consultations at this link. But if you know your ascendant, see, in Vedic astrology there are certain themes known as dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, right? So all the fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, are known as dharma signs. This is why for Aries ascendant, the first, fifth, and ninth house is ruled by the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, which becomes the dharma triangle. Okay? Just like that, your second house, sixth house, and 10th house becomes the artha triangle, which is the sign of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, all the earth signs. Then comes kama, the desire to do something, desire to wanting to have something, which is all the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And then you have moksha signs, which are the moksha triangle, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. The triangle formed by all these signs are categorized by these four different divisions: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So now, in our astrological studies, the basic studies, we always tend to see where the persons or what planets are ruling their 12th, 4th, and 8th house, to see, oh, this is your moksha triangle. So if you want moksha, this is what you need to do. but we forget to understand the most basic. Now, the very first question we want to ask ourselves is, why are water sign given the quality of moksha, which is Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio? And this is where you start to understand the basics. You have to understand, before you understand these signs, understand the element of water. Water is what? Water represents a flowing energy, energy that flows, that needs to flow. But water is also the energy that dissolves things. Water, if a flood came, a giant flood came, all the entire city of Sedona will be wiped out. All the cars will be wiped out. So what happens with water, it's a symbolism of washing away your karmas. All your negative karmas from all the lives that you have lived are blocking you from reaching that source energy, that ultimate pleasure, which is beyond all the lokas. That means you're no longer attached to the cycle of death and rebirth. You're now with that energy. You don't have to suffer pain. You don't have to suffer losses. So that's number one. The other thing, if you use the basics, just like A.V. Sundram, one of the great astrology teachers, shows that the first nakshatra ruled or is ruling the water signs, all the water signs, which is Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. The very first nakshatra is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is one of the Karkavasta of Jupiter is a guru. You need a guru to lead you to moksha. And yes, Jupiter is quite a selfish planet. It also represents attachment and bondage to children, to wealth, money, family. But also, its other side, it represents a guru, a teacher. So you need a teacher to help you to escape this realm. This is why water signs are given the authority over moksha. Fire signs are always the dharma. Earth signs are always the artha. See, so first of all, you got to know the meaning of these dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Dharma is fire. It is the way to understand God itself, because God is fire. God was created by fire, light. Then artha, the earth sign, shows the work we are here to do on this earth. And especially now, if you modernize astrology, it is known as the house of wealth. Why? Because wealth needs to sit on something. So if I gave you coins, and if you throw it in air, they'll go away, they'll fly away. If you throw it in water, they'll go to the deep end. If you put it in fire, it'll burn. So where is the place that you can sustain your money? Which is the earth signs, the earth. So on the solid earth, if I take $1 and I put it there, it is there. For me to put it there and come back and pick it up again, it's there. I don't need to have a scuba gear to find that money. I don't need to have wings or a helicopter to go search for that money. And I don't need to, have a fire extinguisher to get that money in case it's in the fire. On the earth, it is on the earth. This is why second house is money, sixth house is work, 10th house is your work environment, your highest of impact in the world. So it becomes very, very important to understand this concept. Okay? But this is only for Aries ascendant, right? So for Aries ascendant, everything's at its place. The fire signs are at their place. So the Dharma triangle, the first, fifth, and ninth house are the Dharma triangle. The second, sixth, and 10th house are the Artha houses, the Artha triangle, because the earth sign is ruling that. Kama is exactly the same. The third house, 7th house, 11th house are all the air sign in chronological order. Same thing with the Moksha triangle. 12th house is Pisces. That's the original house of Pisces. 4th house is Cancer, the original house of Cancer. 8th house is Scorpio, the original house of Scorpio. But now, if let's say you were a Leo ascendant, or you were a Capricorn ascendant, you were a Aquarius ascendant, how do we understand the moksha part of your life? So let's say you were a Capricorn ascendant. Okay? For Capricorn ascendant, their moksha triangle, okay, which is what? The sign of Cancer, the sign of Pisces, and the sign of Scorpio. Where are they placed? That's how you look. So Capricorn is the first house. Aquarius becomes the second house. Pisces becomes the third house. And then the fourth house is where the fire sign is. So, which houses are of water? The second house. Or I'm sorry, the third house. So, the third house becomes the house of water. That means the seventh house becomes water. The 11th house becomes water, which is the sign of Pisces, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So for a Capricorn ascendant, instead of just looking at the 12th, 4th, and 8th house, which is actually the Dharma, the fire signs, you have to understand as a Capricorn ascendant that if you want liberation, if you want moksha, if you really, really desire to end that cycle of death and rebirth, you have to have desire for it, number one. If you don't have the desire, the utmost desire, you know how we people want that Rolex watch in our life. We want that Mercedes Benz in our life. The Maybach Mercedes Benz. Oh, when will I get it? And you are willing to go through any kind of a job, become a great salesman, get the commission. So you want that. You want that Maybach Mercedes Benz. Just the same desire has to be there for moksha in order for you to start the process of having moksha. So if let's say I'm a Capricorn ascendant, that means I need to have the utmost desire wanting moksha. That will kickstart. You know how you start a scooter in India? You start them like a motorcycle, you kick it. That's the kickstart of the moksha. This is not how you find moksha. Don't think just by desiring moksha you're going to get moksha. Then you're going to be lost. But you need to have that desire that no, I do not want a Maybach, I do not want a Mercedes Benz, I do not want a Rolex watch. I want moksha. How do I do it? Then what happens is your artha comes into play. That means you have to move, you have to work towards it, you have to go to places, you have to meet people, you have to understand life. And then what happens is your work, the work that you're doing to understand enlightenment and moksha, will help you, number one, understand your dharma in life first. Your dharma, the righteous deeds that you need to perform, the deeds to understand God. And guess where for a Capricorn ascendant the dharma triangle is? The fire triangle. It's in the moksha houses. So the 12th house, 4th house, and 8th house for Capricorn ascendant, that's where all the fire signs are. That means they have to understand dharma in order to get moksha. First, they need to have a desire to have moksha. Once they have the desire, that's when they have to work towards it, which is the artha. Okay? And then with the artha, when you do the work, when you're performing your duties on this planet, so instead of making money, you're performing duties to understand what is enlightenment. And when that process is going, you actually understand your dharma. I'm like, oh my God, I now understand God. I'm going through all these meditational retreats, I'm meeting Guru, I'm serving people, and so now I understand God. Okay, so now once you understand God, okay, which is so beautiful here, that's God right there. Right behind me is God. When you understand God, that's when you truly are able to understand moksha. And remember, for moksha, you need a guru. A guru is required. So once the desire is there, once you do the work, once the dharma is there, that's when a guru comes in to help you. This is why all the four elements are needed for every single ascendant. To really find enlightenment, you can't just escape. Oh, okay, I have a desire for moksha and I'm going to leave. There's work that needs to be done. You have to walk towards those things. You have to be, understanding text, understanding what God is first. If you want enlightenment, you have to know God. He's the gatekeeper. He's at the gate. He wants to show you that this is my kingdom of enlightenment. Okay, well, try to understand the gatekeeper first. So you'd look at any ascendant besides Aries, which is everything is at its place, which balances the Aries person out. Like for Taurus, people think that our dharma is our first, fifth, and ninth house. That is true to an extent. But the real dharma is always the fire signs. The real artha is always the earth signs. So this is why you will find Taurus ascendant people really striving towards that financial wealth, financial gains, stock market, finance, banking, management. They're good at it. They feel like this is my duty. I need to be a great manager. I think I found God through being a great manager. But have they really found God? No. To really find God, you have to go to the fire. Where's the fire? Fire is in their moksha triangle, right? So for Taurus ascendant people, the 12th, 4th, and 8th house are the fire signs. That means if they truly want to understand their dharma, like what is my true righteous deed, you're going to need a guru. Go find a guru. So if you want to understand, okay, every astrologer keeps talking about dharma in Vedic astrology. Well, what is it? Well, you can't just understand it by desiring it. You can't just understanding by working towards it. You have to have a guru. Go find a teacher. Now, obviously, if you are highly, intuitive and highly educated towards the ancient literature, you'll realize that guru is actually within you. A real guru is within you. Why? What is guru? Gu is the word that represents to go up. Ru means the spirit. Your own spirit within you leads you up higher, onto the higher dimensions, to the higher lokas. So we all have guru. We're searching for guru, and here I am standing. I'm wishing that I wish I had a spiritual guru in my life, and the best guru is right here within me, which is like the size of this thumb right there, because that's where your soul is, and that's where your guru is. So you just have to tap into it. But most of us can't. I can't. I don't know how to tap into my guru. So we always, for us real people who are trying to understand, trying to get close to God, we need a guru. We need an actual presence of a guru who can teach us, who can enlighten us, in understanding what God is, how to break off of this cycle of life and death. So it's very important. So if all the earth signs, you must seek a guru to find your enlightenment. Same thing. So let's say we talk about moksha for Cancer ascendant people. For Cancer, it's a water sign. The 1st, 5th, and 9th house are all water signs. So what can you tell a Cancer ascendant person, a Scorpio ascendant person, or a Pisces ascendant person? Well, the reason why you were born is to find enlightenment. That is your number one duty. Number one. Why are you born? Is because of the fact you need to find enlightenment. You have to be able to understand things, learn things through which you can understand moksha. Why learning? Why learning? Because all the houses represents education. So 5th house is education, right? 9th house is higher education. What is 5th from the 9th house? It's the 1st house. What is 9th from the 5th house? It is the 1st house. You have to get the education, read the text, understand what it is, to understand, get the education, whether through a teacher or by yourself, but get the education to understand and realize that this is what moksha is. And once you start reading on your own, once you start learning, not just reading, learning, knowledge, that's when you seek a guru. Like, okay, I'm able to really now understand what enlightenment moksha is. Maybe I need a guru to now help me evolve. And this is why the best way to do it is astrology. Once you understand astrology, once you understand planets, once you understand science, it helps you get closer to enlightenment. This is why I love this quote by Kapiel Raaj, that astrology is a bridge between para and apara vidya. Para is and I could be wrong. I think para is the spiritual texts like Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Vedas. Apara is the regular texts like mathematics and physics and government studies and journalism or whatnot. And astrology helps you to understand, going from basic studies of mathematics and science to actually understanding the science of God. So astrology becomes very important. It helps you understand, you know, the meaning of moksha. And so from here on out, you can actually um, seek a teacher. You can work towards it. But that's the number one thing for all the water signs. Same thing for all the air signs. So if you're an air ascendant, like Gemini, okay, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, that means you have all your moksha signs, which is the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, are residing in your Artha triangle, the 2nd, 6th, and 10th house. That means you have to work. You have to work towards understanding moksha. You can't just read it on text. You can't even seek a guru first. First, you have to work towards it. You have to move. You have to, take trips to different places. The work has to be done. There's a lot of work that has to be done because you're an air element. You're up there. You're like all over the place. You're not settled. Being settled comes from really working yourself towards knowing your moksha. And then all the other element comes in to help you, which obviously ends with a guru. Okay? So this is what really enlightenment is, the understanding of enlightenment through the basic of concept of astrology. And this is just to see where these signs are. Same thing, I can make a video on Artha. Like, what type of a work or what do you have to do to understand your work, your livelihood? You see, so we can make videos on that. Like for a Pisces ascendant, all the Arthas are in the Kama signs, Kama houses, 3rd, 7th, and 11th house. That means for a Pisces, their work is all about having a desire to do something. And desire is all about creativity. They have to understand things on a creative level to really do their work. Their work always should involve something to do with imagination. Their work should be involved to having the desire to create something new. The work cannot be redundant. The work cannot be old. You have to create something new. You got to have that desire though. That's how you understand enlightenment on a very, very basic level. I mean, there's a huge understanding of this. And I don't know that. I'm not an expert in it, but I am understanding from the most basic level myself. So, back here at my resort again of Poco Diablo, one of the best resorts in Sedona. You can't beat it. It is just beautiful all around. So, let me help you understand Moksha triangle. Okay? So, let's say you're a Taurus ascendant. Okay? And due to the concept that I've discussed, the moksha triangle, not the moksha triangle of 12th, 4th, and 8th, but the actual sign that represents the moksha triangle is the 3rd, 7th, and 11th house for Taurus ascendant. 3rd house is Cancer, 7th house is Scorpio, 11th house is Pisces. So, do you just need a desire to do these things, or is there something else required? Well, of course. 3rd house represents, in terms of moksha, is that you need to seek information. You have to have a desire to have books, to read books, because books are seen from the 3rd house, the original sign of Gemini, reading and writing. You need to do that. That's the first step to understand way to enlightenment. The second one, and it gets harder, okay? The second one is to find a spouse, find a partner in life who will help you to achieve your moksha ashram in life. Meaning you have to marry a person who is inclined, who is in tuned with the fact that you are seeking moksha. Your partner, your better half, your spouse should be able to help you to understand this desire for you to end your cycle of death and rebirth. So that, and it becomes a little bit harder because, you know, let's say you run into a very beautiful hot woman, or that tall, dark, handsome guy, and you want to marry them. Well, they may not have anything to desire for moksha. They want to just have fun, enjoy life materially, and that's it. So then that becomes this predicament, this dilemma for you. Do I want this sexy hot woman next to me, or do I want somebody who can actually reach me to moksha? So it becomes a hard. It's like three levels. First is easy. You know, you can buy books, start reading them, and understand it. Second one's a little bit harder, right? Because you have to find the right spouse. Then goes to the 11th house, meaning you have to have the right support system. You have to create friends. You have to create network circles of people who will help you achieve the ability to escape the cycle of death and rebirth. You have to have certain achievements in life. You have to be recognized and achieved, have achievements for certain actions that will help you to understand moksha. Whether it's you, you know, having an award for helping 1,000 hungry kids, or whether it's you, you know, going to Mount Everest, climbing it, going into Himalayas and finding your achievements of perhaps meeting Mahavtar Babaji. And so that becomes even a harder task. So this is how the Taurus person achieves that moksha. So desire comes into play, fine. That desire has a certain level. So you can take any of them, like I was explaining with the water sign as the ascendant. They're born. That's your first dharma, is to how to escape the cycle of death and rebirth. Okay, and if let's say you take Gemini ascendant, that means the second house is family, water sign. Sixth house is work, which is the water sign. 10th house is your highest of deeds, your highest of impact in the world. So for Gemini ascendant, they're going to need family support to be able to understand and achieve that ability to understand moksha. You have to be surrounded by people within your family circle who will help you and support you. If not, then you better look for a new family. Sixth house, you have to do the work. You have to go out there, volunteer. You have to go out there, be part of some ashram where a guru is, and you have to do the work. You have to cook. You have to clean. You have to clean toilets. And then becomes a 10th house. You have to do something so high that will help you to achieve your karma. You have to make the highest of impact in the world, which is not easy, especially when you're looking for enlightenment. That's like the door to the main, you know, cookie jar, the main 3 Michelin star restaurant. You don't just get that. You better make the highest of impact in the world. So we all want moksha. We all talk about moksha, but it's not as easy, you know, especially for certain ascendants. So that's how you understand this cycle through each of these categories that I showed you.